My name is Gary Smith. I teach at Alamosa High School, social studies teacher, and I'm also the high school varsity golf coach. Our challenges mostly have been with monies allocated to the students. Every year we've seen either rescissions or we've actually um, lost money so that teachers were laid off. Um, but at the same time, um, we collected more administrators than we did with teachers. As we've gotten word from CEA and our local association, AEA, the mood is always very somber. It's a wild time in April. We don't know which teachers are going to be cut, how many are going to be cut. So we never know if we're going to get into a rifting situation or whatever have you. So I think everyone's pretty nervous, but it's always the newbies or the people that are probationary. They're the ones at risk all the time. With the teachers that they did cut last year, our class sizes, some of my government classes that were maybe 20, 22 are now up to 29, 30. And the activities we get to do are limited. I can see the impact on children when we do presentations in class. When I take a class of 30 students to the library and we have 22 computers, 8 students are left out. So it's a rush to get to the library now. So I'm at a situation of what do I do? So we're doing a lot more group activities, but individual activities are limited because of class sizes and resources available to the teacher. Well, the resources since budget cuts the last few years, and as a resource we've been using the Magruder's American Government book, and as you can see the edition date on this is 1996. So as we're talking about the presidency, in chapter 13, the last president talked about in this book is actually Bill Clinton. We've gone by a couple presidents since him, but as a resource, this is outdated. The information is still good, but as we go on to the different presidencies and talk about character and leadership of different presidents, especially the ones that kids are familiar with, there's no resource for them. There really isn't. And some of the information has changed in other chapters of the book. So we're using outdated information, and it really hurts the kids. They're so used to going to the internet and just Googling everything, but some of that information is incorrect, and it's not really reliable.
How does that make, I don't know, how does that change their perceptions of a teacher if they're looking at it, or school in general, if they're looking at a history book and Bill Clinton's still the president?
Oh, absolutely, because they know that they're limited. And once they start seeing that their textbook is not really a true source of information where they can go research, they don't even want to use it at all. So it's really useless to us in the classroom to use it as a resource. So we try to limit what we do in it. Whereas back in the 1990s, here we go again, it was a valuable resource. It was. Here at Alamosa, we've been blessed with sports in general throughout every athletic team that we've had. We've been state champions in almost every activity. But with being the golf coach, I can tell you how it impacts me directly. Every year, Alamosa Golf always takes about 16 trips, 16 tournaments in a season. And the value of that has always been that I've gotten high numbers of golfers, anywhere between 12 and 20 kids come out for golf in this small school. That's a lot of kids who come out. But the number one reason when they come out is I always make them understand when I talk to them at the start of the year, especially the middle school kids at the end of the year who are coming to the high school, I let them understand that no matter what they shoot, low 70s to high 120s, they are guaranteed 7 tournaments a year. Now with the budget cuts coming around this year, if our athletic budget gets cut again, we're looking at 7 tournaments total. We're going to cut 16 tournaments down to 7. So that means some kids who will come out for Alamosa Boys Golf won't even go to a tournament. And then they're going to look at it like, if I don't go to tournaments, why should I go out? So that's going to limit kids going out for sports. And what we have found here, especially at Alamosa High School, kids who participate in sports or activities stay in school and do better in school.
And why do you think that is?
I think all the research you look at just says if you're involved with the school, you take pride in it, and it means something to you. But if it has no meaning, you're less likely to participate. If you're not going to participate, well, you really don't care about the school. You're not going to care about your grades. You're not going to care about the pride within the school. And being an Alamos High School graduate, I'm very happy that I graduated from here, and I take Moosey pride to its height. I really do. I believe in this school, in this district. I was born and raised here. Another thing with the budget cuts is 10 years ago I had a budget of $1,000, and that was pretty good because it bought caps for the kids, it brought shirts, sometimes golf balls, and it paid for our meals. That's what we did with our money. That has been cut down to $500. And if it gets cut down again, I won't be able to afford shirts for about 5-6 years down the road for these kids. And if you know golf shirts and boys in the summer wearing them, you can imagine what I get, what they come back to me like. Yeah. Any program that is allowed to disintegrate or end or whatever have you, years later when you have the resources available, when you try to bring it back, it's almost impossible. It really is. I don't think it would come back to what it was once. In the last 10 years, I've sent at least one golfer, and perhaps sometimes two golfers to state. In 1994, we won state when there was no classification for golf. That pride will probably be gone. I don't know if it can ever come back. Is it a necessary evil? It might have to be. I don't agree with it, but it might have to come down to, back when I was in high school, we didn't have boys soccer, girls soccer, and all these other things. So I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, there's got to be a different way to fund education other than the way we're doing it now. Because what we're doing now doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, you got to get rid of it.